Good day, class. So we're done with discussing the Mendelian genetics. Now let's go to the non-Mendelian genetics. So in the non-Mendelian genetic, this is where part of the Mendelian genetics cannot be explained, where genes interacts with each other. Therefore, there is a different expression of genes due to different interplay between genes, and these are some of the possible explanations for different phenotype expressed, which is when you compare to the Mendelian genetics cannot be explained, like the example of Mrs. Bryant and Mr. Bryant having a blue eyes as a child. So therefore it can be also explained. And we can also conclude that Mrs. Janice is not cheating. Now let's go to the allelic and non-allelic interaction. When we say allelic interaction, it's one gene only that interacts. So it is somehow compared to the law of segregation, which deals with the monohybrid cross. Meanwhile, the non-allelic interaction, there will be two genes involved, two different genes, and it is somehow similar to the law of independent assortment. So let's discuss this one. So when we say complete dominance, when one allele is expressed, the phenotype in the phenotype by masking the expression of the recessive allele. So therefore, when the dominant phenotype is there, therefore, or the dominant genotype is there, so therefore the dominant phenotype will come out. For example, we have here a purple flower. So this purple flower has a dominant homozygous and dominant homozygous. So therefore, when there will be a dominant homozygous and heterozygous, therefore the phenotype will come out purple. However, if both of the allele or are homozygous recessive, so therefore the phenotype will come out white. So somehow it's similar with what you have learned in Mendelian genetics. Now, how about in incomplete dominance? In incomplete dominance, the recessive gene is not completely masked. So therefore, a dominant phenotype and the recessive phenotype are both expressed. However, both of the phenotype are mixed together and forming a different or expressing different phenotype. Example of this is pink in color. When you mix, if you have a color palette, you mix red and white, so somehow you can get a pinkish color. So same with this. So the red, which is a homozygous dominant, cross with a homozygous recessive, which has a phenotype of white, when combined or mix or cross together, they'll have a heterozygous genotype, which will have a pink phenotype. So formation of intermediate character, or in terms, sa madaling salita, will have a blended color. Now, for the codominance, this occurs when both of the genes lacks dominance and recessiveness. So therefore, both of the genes or both of the phenotypes are expressed and therefore will not mix. No blending color, both are expressed. So therefore, if we have a red mother and a white father, both of those color will come out. So nandito na lumalabas yung parang patterns, sa mga cows, yung mga patterns nila, and that's codominance, Katulad sa zebra, ano pa ba yung may mga patterns, cows, and also look at this flower, So if we have a heterozygous, we have a dominant genotype and a recessive genotype or allele, which is recessive, then both of the colors will be expressed, and that is a heterozygous. That will be the phenotype of the heterozygous. Next, let's go to the overdominance. This occurs when the expressions of the genes exceeds measurement, meaning it is a hybrid of the dominant trait. For example, we have a pink dominant trait, and then we have a white recessive. However, we have a hybrid phenotype which exceeds to the normal color of pink. So, nagkaroon ng other shade of pink. And this will be an overdominance to the pink, and having a, it also, or will have a heterozygous genotype. So, dominant R and recessive R, which makes, again, the mother and the father have a phenotype of a red and white, giving you this phenotype. So, kaya nagkakaroon ng different colors sa environment because of this, no? Nagkakaroon ng different shades of colors, yellow, greenish, yellow-green, ano pa ba yung mga colors na nakikita natin in the environment. Syempre, orange, no? Ano pa ba? Most common yan, the pink. Somehow, hybrid color in the orchids, no? They can already control the trait for that para makakuha sila ng different shades of pink and also to create a lavender color of orchids. Diba? Ganun ginagawa nila. So, another and the last one is the multiple alleles, which is the blood system, the ABO. The alleles A and B are codominant and both are dominant to O allele or blood type O. So, therefore, blood type O is a recessive blood type. So, this is the genotype of the blood A. It will have a homozygous dominant A, and we have a hetero. B, we have a homozygous dominant B, and also a hetero. And for the genotype of AB, we have AB. And lastly, for the O, we have O. So, let's apply this in a problem. So, Catherine, a 28-year-old woman and whose blood type is AB, marries Daniel, whose blood type is O. They are planning to have a child in 2 years after their marriage. What are the genotypes of Catherine and Daniel, and what is the probability of having a child with blood type A and also with blood type O? So, let's answer this. So, if Catherine has a blood type AB and Daniel has a blood type O. So, now, what will be the genotype of Catherine? So, the genotype of Catherine is also AB. Meanwhile, Daniel will have a genotype of O. Now, let's write this in a Punnett square. Then, please separate the alleles for Catherine and O for Daniel. So, you have A and O cross, B and O, A and O, then B and O. Having this results of the offspring, and these are the genotype of the offspring. So, let's see. So, let's write the genotypic ratio. So, we have A, O. How many are AO? So, 1 and 2. So, we have 2. AO genotype is 2. Another 2, B, O. So, what will be the phenotypic ratio? So, therefore, we have 2 blood type A. And we have is to 2 blood type B. And we can simplify this as 1:1. So, meaning that the probability of having a child with blood type A will be 50%. Ma'am, how did you come up with that? Because 2 blood type A here divide over 4, which is the number of the Punnett square. 2 over 4 simplified, that's 1/2, and 1/2 is 50, then 0.50, then multiply by 100, you'll get 50%. And with the blood type O, as you can see, in the Punnett square, you cannot see that. Therefore, that will be 0%. Therefore, they can't have children with blood type O.